Okay, everyone, I just want to comment why this depression we're going to have, this slow, painful death that we're going to have now, is not like the 1970s. Everyone compares this time to the 1970s. 1970s was a period of high inflation, high interest rates, well, I would say high union action. But anyway, it wasn't a good period in life. There was is it lower standards of living? No, I wouldn't say it was lower standards of living, but it wasn't a good period. So why is this different? So the reason is 1970s was the baby boom era. So the 1940s and 50s was when the baby boom occurred, and started going to the workforce in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, and only now just started retiring. So during that period, you had this huge population growth. So unemployment always went up. Unemployment went up because there's too many people basically in the world, right? In the Western world, there was way too many people, and so therefore, whenever there was a shock, you fired people because you just could. There was just too many people. Now is not the same. I'm currently in Holland, and there's just a shortage of everything: daycare workers, accountants, teachers, whatever you want. I go to other places in the world. I was in Brazil, shortage there. America, shortage there. UK, shortage. There's shortages of workers in every single country. Now people don't understand why. They're like, I don't get it. We've got this huge inflation. We've got higher interest rates. We've got people can't afford mortgages, and yet unemployment is very low. Well, there's a reason why unemployment is very low. There's not enough people, guys. And so that's why I prefer referring to this period to the Black Death. So the period after the Black Death, which is when a third of Europe was dead, right? A third of Europe died. What happened after that was huge wage increases. Wages went up. They didn't, and in fact, the serfdom got reduced because the poor could say, well, we're not going to work, this land. And secondly, a lot of the land was used before, and they became reforested afterwards. Right? So any of you climate change people that care, don't worry, because the world is depopulating. As Elon Musk stated, Japan is disappearing. 850,000 people less in 2021, and 2022 it's also hundreds of thousands of people less. I don't know what the exact figure is, but they're going down. They're going down. They're getting smaller and smaller. China, first year ever declining population. Sorry, not first year ever, since the 60s when Mao murdered millions through his stupid programs. But I'm saying in a normal, natural way, it's the first year ever where they've had a natural decrease. And it's going to continue. The whole Western world, I mean, all of Europe, the UK, US, just imports people, right? That's what it does. They've been declining for years. Their birth rate is, I think the UK is 1.5, Italy's 1.2. South Korea is like 0.8. By the way, replacement ratio is 2.1. So these guys, all Western countries are way, they've been declining for years, but because they import foreigners, immigrants, so therefore their population actually increases. But it's a joke because you have the UK, London now. London, Manchester, and Birmingham are minority white in the UK. I'm from the UK. I'm not white, but it's a disgrace. Okay, that's the way it is. It's disgusting. I wouldn't. Well, I think the UK is the worst country in the world because it's decimated itself in such a shocking period. So we have to understand, guys. What I want to try to tell you is this recession is totally different. You have to look at the Black Death, and you have to see that they had a decimation in population, and because of that, wages went up. Wages went up. Inflation went up. There weren't enough people to produce the goods. And in fact, by the end of that period, so it was about 1350 when it started occurring, so wages went up when we've had it. Wages go up, but inflation went further. And it actually harmed people because there weren't enough skilled labor, people to make things. And in 1350, what you had is there was less serfdom, there was less burden because you could tell your employer to go away, which is exactly what's happening now. Employers have no power at all because anyone can just change jobs in 5 seconds and get a better job. And but inflation was harming. It was beyond the wage rises. So the only way you can keep up with wage rises, because employers currently, HR bunch of retards. Sorry, HR bunch of retards. They still live in the 3% world. They think 3% wage growth. Yeah. So people just leave you, and they'll just jump jobs, and they'll get higher and higher wages. They'll just keep jumping because there's a plethora of jobs out there, and it won't stop. So people are expecting this high unemployment to occur. It ain't coming. There's no high unemployment coming. We are not the 1970s, guys. It's not happening. No high unemployment. So all we're going to get is just very low unemployment, high wage growth, but even higher inflation. Right? That's what people have to understand. Inflation will be even higher. People thinking, oh, look, it's gone down from 9% in America to 6.5%. Yeah. It won't get near 2%, which is the Fed's mandate. It won't get near in a million years. It's just going to keep on being high because the costs are high. People are jumping jobs. They want high wages. And then the firms are forced to give high wages for new employees. The amount of deficits in the people are just going to keep jumping jobs basically because it's a joke now. HR have not kept up with reality in the world. Shops are just raising prices left, right, and center, and that's it. So realize if you want to research what's going to happen, look at the aftermath of the Black Death. Don't look at the 70s.